Thank you for sharing this. And without wasting much time, I would say, please, you can come up and share with us what you have for us today. You can start presenting your screen, and if you are speaking, please, you can unmute yourself. So sorry.
Yeah, let me share my screen. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our second section of Introduction to Bitcoin. Let me share my screen here. Okay, so how does Bitcoin work? That's a very, very serious question that you will come across even when you're trying to arrange people, your family, your friends, or people you want to spend Bitcoin with. So this also applies to all people and entities with an enormous amount of control and influence in the fiat world. In the Bitcoin world, there is no room for cheating or sabotage. Everyone is treated equally and no one can change that. We are all Satoshis. I would have to say that again. We all are Satoshis. Nobody is greater than anybody. This knowledge we are sharing here, you too can get it on your own. You can go and read about it. You can go and deep dive, go into the rabbit hole and deep dive it because we all are going to make money as long as we are creating value out there in the world. We are definitely going to make money. How are we going to store our energy and our sweat, our labor? Because we are not going to be young forever. It is a very, very important something, self-custody of your wealth, self-custody of your funds, self-custody. That is your only property right. Your land, your house, your company, everything that you build, the government can take it away from you. So Bitcoin is actually the only money you can self-custody by yourself. You can also do that with gold, but gold failed us due to the portability. Like it is not as portable as Bitcoin. You can travel around the world with your hardware wallet or whichever added security you would want to use. But you can travel around the world with just your hardware wallet and your seed phrase in your head or correctly written and stored in a safe place. Did you know that since 2009, Bitcoin has withstood over tens of thousands? So many hackers have tried, nobody. I shared the story the last time. They paid them. Now they decided to ask for their own payments in Bitcoin. They know, they've studied it, they saw that they can never come because it is a proof of work. So you can never hack such network, and we are growing every day. That is why we are here educating you and giving you more information about Bitcoin. So now we keep asking, how does Bitcoin work? You need to take notes. The players of the game, we all are the players of the game because you can decide to go and do your own research and decide to run your own node tomorrow. It is just a matter of how interested are you. To better understand the decentralization of Bitcoin, we need to dive deeper. You need to go deeper into the rabbit hole. It is very important because now there are too many questions that you got to ask. What is happening? Both parents, both mother and father are working seriously hard, but they cannot even afford to pay their bills and take care of their children. Those are the reasons why the money is broken. You need to dive deeper into the different roles within the network. You need to, when you really want to be self-sovereign, you have to dive deeper and understand the dynamics of the protocol. In the Bitcoin world, various participants play distinct yet harmonious roles. Everybody has to be in alignment. Everybody has to be in accordance. No dishonesty out here. Contributing to the seamless functioning of the network. Everybody has a role to play. So here are the roles of everybody. The miners, these people now, they are actually using energy to mine Bitcoin because Bitcoin cannot be printed out of thin air like your Naira, your Rands, your US dollar, your Kuwait, dirhams, and every other big currency you know. they are printed out of thin air. Nothing is backed by it. So therefore, such money comes up with a lot of inflation and interest rates. The second is the nodes. Everybody here can decide to mine. Everybody can decide to become a node runner also. That is why you have to do a little, not a little, you have to do a deep dive into these things if you really want to understand and know how to do them by yourself. Users, we all are the users. When we start without running our nodes, without becoming a miner, we can actually be a user also by sending sats to ourselves, sending sats for everything that we do and every of our services and products that we put out there. You can also be developers if you're interested in coding, making your own wallets and creating projects. The project can be anything. You can decide to do anything for Bitcoin. Because we need to understand that Bitcoin does not need us. We need Bitcoin. You understand? So when you recognize that fact, everything that you do in your day-to-day life, you would want to accept BTC as a form of payment. Nice. Okay, so the miners, we will have to sharply get into these things. The architect of security. Miners are the backbone of Bitcoin. These are people or group of people who work behind the scene to maintain and secure the network through a mechanism called the proof of work. The proof of work mechanism is you cannot just print Bitcoin out of thin air. You need to have your miner, you need to have cheap electricity properly, and you need to understand the technical aspects of becoming a miner. But you would be earning block reward as you keep mining by the day with your cheap electricity. Everyday sats, that's what it means. These players are armed with special computers. You need a program. Most people use an old laptop that has a lot of memory and hard drive. So yeah, special computers that contain heavy computational power. They make their hardware available to the Bitcoin network. There's a hardware, even Chinese, the Asians are well known for these miners, for creating a lot of these miners, even when they were banned from mining available to the Bitcoin network, competing with each other to find complex cryptographic numbers. Now, this is where winning the block reward is. You have to compete in the global mining network. Verify transaction and add new blocks. The moment you add the block into a nuance, then you are actually going to be winning the block reward. A new block of information about transaction to Bitcoin's decentralized ledger, so-called the blockchain. That's what the blockchain is all about. People that are using computational power to actually, with a cheap electricity also, to actually mine a block in cryptographic numbers to verify transaction and add blocks into a decentralized ledger, which is the Bitcoin network. Their commitment ensures the immutability of the ledger. And with this now, nobody can attack or do or change anything that's on the blockchain. The decentralized nature of mining allows anyone to, with sufficient computing resources to participate. Anybody can participate in the decentralized nature of the Bitcoin ecosystem because of their hard work. The miners who solve the puzzle the quickest are rewarded with a form of Bitcoin. That is their block reward. If you solve the puzzle in the mining ecosystem, then you win. The incentive for you is to win a Bitcoin. People are winning a lot from this particular mining. There are solo miners that are winning block rewards as a form of their incentive because they are using their own electricity or making form of this. This actually aids for renewable energies to actually come up and use it to mine Bitcoin. Bitcoin miners are distributed all over the world. Anybody can actually become a miner, safeguarding the network because these are the things that keeps the network decentralized and ensuring Bitcoin security stays robust and distributed. These are the reasons why we know that we need to have a proper community. The ones that are becoming the developers, the ones that are mining, the ones that are node runners, can actually run your node also on the Lightning Network and also on the on-chain. The nodes, these are the gatekeepers for validation. These are people that actually, you run your node, you too can actually run your node. You validate transaction on the blockchain to make sure everything is kept decentralized. Ordinary people will live, anybody can do this. They are the gatekeepers of the network by running Bitcoin software on their small computers. Any like a computer with a proper hard drive would be able to do this. They maintain a copy of the entire ledger. You can actually stop anytime and come back and continue running your node. You still get everything that is immutable on your ledger. Nodes validate transactions and ensure that all participants adhere to the consensus rules. These are the things that where you know that nothing can be changed, everything is quite transparent on the blockchain. By distributing the responsibility of validation across the network of nodes, everybody, as long as you're a node runner, you're responsible for everything that's happening on the network. This is why we say that we as a community have to do these things, because the government are not going to do it for us. Bitcoin remains resilient against attack and maintains its trustless nature. Nodes play a crucial role, very, very crucial, in upholding the integrity of the ledger. These are the things that we say nothing can be changed, contributing to the decentralization ethos of Bitcoin. Anybody can become a node runner. The users, empowered participants, you and I, we are empowered. We enjoy the fact that we can actually spend our Bitcoin anytime, anywhere in the world. So yeah, the lifeblood of the Bitcoin network are individuals who engage in transactions. You can think about users as regular people who just live their lives, but who also empower themselves by integrating Bitcoin. For example, some users save their money in Bitcoin, while others, like citizens of El Salvador, use it as money to buy groceries and receive Bitcoin in the form of a salary. Yes, these are the things I talk about. I want to spend my BTC as a medium of exchange. I want to store my value for the long term. You're talking about 10 years, you're talking about 20 years, you're talking about 5 years, whichever thing that is long term to you, whichever thing that you can actually save and keep for a very, very long time is where we store our value in a self-custodial wallet. Bitcoin empowers users by eliminating the need for intermediaries like bankers. I do not like the banks and governments, allowing for direct peer-to-peer. You and I can transact now. If we come into agreement in becoming business partners, we would have our multi-sig wallet set up, and which without both of us, no transaction can be carried out in our wallet, in a multi-sig wallet. This also means that users have full control of their money. You have full control of your money. You can spend it anytime, 365 days, 247. Providing control of their funds. You are in charge. You're supposed to be in charge of your money. That is why it is your value and your sweat. Developers and projects, architects and innovators. Yeah, the monetary system of the future doesn't build itself. We got to build it by ourselves. We got to, the things that you want to see in the world, we can actually, even if you're not the direct developer, you can hire a developer to build the things that you want to see in the world. Now, is it globally adopted or ethnically correct way without effort? You must always, these are the proof of what we talk about. Anything you want to see in the world, you think about it on a daily, you got to create it and create your progress on a daily. That's where Bitcoin developers and projects come into play. You can actually become one if you want to. If you're interested, if you're passionate about it, you can do it yourself. Developers wield their technical expertise to enhance and innovate the Bitcoin protocol. These users contribute code, propose improvements, and address vulnerabilities, anything that is going to affect the network, to any loophole, anything that you feel like is going to make the project scale more, for more people to use it, for more people to adopt it, for more people to spend it as a peer-to-peer electronic cash. Ensuring the network evolves in response to all types of challenges. Bitcoin open source nature invites collaboration, allowing developers worldwide to contribute to its growth. So now it is an open source. We know that this network, anybody can actually participate and collaborate. You can decide to want to build a project or you want to develop something. We can collaborate, put head together, hire developers, and build the things that we want to see in the world. The problem that we see around us, we can actually solve them and make our Bitcoin stacking from there. So, okay, yeah. So, how does Bitcoin work is still the question we are in. The beauty of this decentralized development prevents a single entity from monopolizing control of it. Nobody can become a sole proprietorship. Like, nobody can make it that they are the greater people, the government, even the government can't do that. Any government cannot be in control of the Bitcoin protocol. This happens through consensus-driven process, a proper consensus. With what I understand, they had to name it the Nakamoto consensus because of how it is that the network run every 10 minutes. There's also difficulty adjustment also. Those are things that actually make the network it's being calculated to a point where we know when the halving is going to occur after a particular set of blocks. So developers actually propose ideas also to changes, and only those with the best ideas are aligned with the broader vision. And everybody has to be like, we have to see that okay, this is a very, very good vision to actually make Bitcoin more decentralized, more secured, and actually scalable also. But when we talk about scalability, we are thinking about scalability on the layer two, not on the like on chain, because now we have to pick decentralization and security over scalability on the main chain for a better world to receive support from the community. So this was all I was talking about because we, like with this particular open source technology that we have at hand, we are looking at beating the MasterCard, the Visa in every transaction, transactions per second on the Bitcoin network. That's what we are looking at. Because now we are no longer looking at beating gold because we've actually properly child gold. We are just looking to scale properly, also empowering transparent and democratic evolution of Bitcoin until it's ready for 8 billion people. These are the things because with proper improvements by the developers, then we will be able to get to a point where 8 billion people all over the world are interacting with the Bitcoin blockchain. Bitcoin projects involve diverse groups from mission-driven non-profits and corporations to group of individuals that create valuable content. Anything that's like anything that you're really, really empowered to do on the Bitcoin network to support in one way or the other, you can actually create whichever thing you want to see in the world. These people work together on a specific goal. Like anybody can partner, anybody can collaborate and work together for the broader vision of the collective freedom, because that's all we are looking at. We're looking for our freedom and our liberty to actually spend our sweat and actually store our value for the long term without being devalued or debased. Bitcoin projects play a crucial role in shaping and promoting the adoption of Bitcoin, working towards a future that prioritizes the empowerment and freedom of the human race. That's all we are looking for. We don't want to save our sweat and then all of a sudden there's 50% devaluation. What you're supposed to buy for 1 million, now you're buying it for 1.5, 2 million. That's all it is. So the symphony, the decentralization of Bitcoin is synergetic to music orchestra. Like a balancing act where all different musicians makes the most beautiful music together. Everybody can come together and make the network more and more secure and decentralized. That is like everybody always have an impact. Nobody's greater than anybody on the network, no matter how much you're holding. As a Bitcoin, you're a Bitcoin, I'm a Bitcoin. As long as we can always transact and interact with ourselves, we are good to go. There's no bust in the Bitcoin network. Instead, miners, nodes, users, developers, and projects perform their roles with autonomy and collaboration. We would always collaborate to make the network stronger and bigger. The decentralized ledger maintained by nodes guarantees transparency. Everybody can go and check what's happening on the mempool space. Everybody can go and check what's happening on their transactions. Everything that you're doing is properly transacted and transparent on the blockchain. While the proof of work mechanism provides security and deters decentralization in mining, nobody is going to be a group of people or company that is in charge of the network. It is quite decentralized. Anybody can run it. Users experience financial sovereignty and empowerment free from control of the fiat system. Developers, guided by consensus, ensure the protocol adapts to meet the evolving needs of humanity. Like even the people in the deepest forest, we need to get to them if they want to transact throughout the world. That's all it is. If you are ready to have your freedom money, even if you're in the deep forest and you have internet or anything, you can always transact with the Bitcoin network. Because now there are projects that you don't need a Wi-Fi to actually transact using you'll be using a code. Bitcoin projects in their own unique ways contribute to the broader vision of the collective freedom. Everybody is fighting for their freedom to actually spend wherever. As you can see, every participant plays their role. Everyone plays a role in the Bitcoin adoption and empowering humanity. Each participant is like now you are coming to say you want to become, you want to run node, you want to become a miner. You have the choice to do that anytime, any day. So now that brings proper resilience and longevity in the Bitcoin, creating trust-free, borderless, and empowering ecosystem, because now we know that we can actually transact with each other anywhere we are in the world. So now the decentralization in Bitcoin resonates as the testament of Satoshi Nakamoto's vision and the immense passion of a global community seeking freedom and empowerment. That's all we are seeking, man. You know, as if anybody wants to, we saw the problem, which is the money that is broken, and we are deciding to fix it ourselves because the government will not do it for us. So yeah, we call Bitcoin is sound digital money in the terms that it is just money. It is just money that I want to spend every day. It is not an investment, rather a safe, empowering way of saving our hard-earned money. The reason why you decide to come here today, you left every other thing, you decided to get your education right so you can be able to store your hard-earned money. That's all it is. Having Bitcoin won't make you rich because it won't give you a return of more Bitcoin. You are only storing your value against the fiat currency. That's now the value measured against the fiat currency does go up, but this is only because of its growing adoption and the devaluation of fiat currency, because the fiat currency would always be devaluated. So I don't know if you can scan this code to go and have a more deeper dive into this sound digital money we talk about here, which is Bitcoin.
Sorry, I shared the link to the code so on yesterday's chat.
Oh, okay. My link.
No, I mean this QR code contains an embedded link
Okay,
to YouTube.
okay, okay.
So I shared it
All
yesterday.
right. All right, all right. So now we are still talking about our sound money. Bitcoin is a new form of money because now it is the internet of money. I like that, which means that it is open for anyone to join and start exchanging value. Right now, you can decide to make your choice, start buying and start spending and start storing your value in it. Even the most isolated poor communities in the world, that's what I'm saying. Even in the deepest part of the forest, we want to get to them to for mass adoption to access this monetary system. Just like everyone that has a phone and internet connection, anybody can actually do this. Bitcoin is possible for everyone. Everybody can actually get into this monetary system. The Bitcoin is completely digital and borderless. Anybody can transact in Germany, anywhere in the world that you are right now. I'll send you your SAT and you'll receive it right now, ASAP, on Lightning, and then you can move it to on-chain if you feel like it. But then you must, when you want to transact with the on-chain, you need to understand what the U2SOs are, and before you start sending low amounts, we'll get to that also, I hope. Lots of users worldwide run Bitcoin software. Like every too many people around the world now is running their own software, which are the things that keeps the network purely decentralized and transparent on the ledger. So the software is all the records of it has the very low chance of disappearing. Like nobody can erase anything from that particular ledger. That's all it is. Or shut it down or try. You can only do that now when you shut the entire the internet, yes, forever, which is extremely unlikely. So for the people that actually say, hey, the government will do this, that, yeah, because they're always skeptics when we talk about these things, but when you understand and actually know how the network is being run and everything that goes underneath the network, then you know that if you want to shut the network, then you have to shut the entire internet, which is not possible. That's the only way you can stop Bitcoin. Nobody can stop Bitcoin. So finally, Bitcoin is scarce, which means that the quantity of Bitcoin tokens that can exist are absolutely limited. There's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin, and they've mined up to 19 million now. So when people talk about you're still very early, me, I'm just thinking, man, I need to stack more. That's all I'm thinking. The whole early. Let me just stack more. That's all. So no one can counterfeit Bitcoin. You cannot go and create your own Bitcoin because you have to do the proof of work. Not even the most powerful government, not even the United States, just so you know. So, and the good thing is that it's actually faster, cheaper payments. Financial inclusion. Everybody around the world is included in the network. Just have your phone, get your wallet, have your phone. That's all. Increase privacy, spending when you're spending your money anywhere, anything that you want to do. You can even do just privacy, because people just want their financial privacy. Can send money all over the globe in just minutes with very, very low fees. 2.5 billion people are unbanked. That's what I was saying. We need to unbank. We need to onboard the people that are inside the deep forest to come and access this money just with a phone or computer. Bitcoin transactions are public, but your identity is not, which is the thing. Your wallet, your identity, that is what people cannot find of you because it is a self-custodial wallet. And it's actually different from your exchanges also. So the principles, these are just the main thing that I'll talk about. Everybody, the decentralized nature, the fact that we know that everybody on this call now can actually participate on the network because it is open source and open for everybody. It is actually peer-to-peer. We get to transact right now and exchange our value. It is finite. Like there's no, there, it is, there's only going to be 21 million and nothing higher than that. Yeah. So yeah, we got to talk about the evolution of our sound money. Yeah, as learned, you all learned it in chapter 2, I guess. The progress, the stages to receive general acceptance from society, from being a store of value to becoming a medium of exchange, and finally a unit of account. So at a point, Bitcoin was more like a store of value for me. When at the point where I just started buying without proper knowledge, I was just using it to store my value because I knew that I didn't really know much about inflation back then, but I knew that I am not going to trust the banks with my huge amount of money based on my story and my experience. That's all I knew then. And then it became a medium of exchange because now I want to spend my BTC. I do not want to hold any fiat currency or any fiat currency in general. And then now it is currently going to be my unit of account because now I will be whichever service I'll be providing out there will be like it will be repriced in sats. What other people might be doing for let's say $100 in USD, I can decide to accept $50 when we calculate it in sats because I know the value of what I am receiving at that particular point for the long term. So the first stage of money, like that, what I'm saying in essence is that it is you got to make it your store of value, your medium of exchange, and your unit of accounts. That's how much you understand this aspect of this sound money, which is Bitcoin. So the first stage of money is meant to be a store of value, which I've explained. So let's quickly run through these slides. Some groups like media outlets call Bitcoin a form of digital gold. Yeah, because now it is the values that gold could not offer us is what Bitcoin is offering us currently. So that's how we know that it is definitely going to chow gold back to back. It's firmly established itself as a store of value because everybody wants to store it for the long term. People want to retire on their Bitcoin. Every day, more and more people start viewing Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. Yes, where the goods and services go up over time, just without any damn reason. Things just go up in prices. You all have experienced this in real time. Like gold did historically. Remember when the government took the gold and devalued it, things like that. So the next stage is when the confidence in the stability of the currency solidifies. These are the things I have seen these things happen, and that's why I'm so like it feels so good knowing that I'm already in the space and observing how all these things are happening in my lifetime. This is when the currency now it's going to transition into a medium of exchange. Now everybody all over the world is accepting it. Nobody is saying, "Nah, I want cash" or things like that. Facilitating transaction in people's daily life, everybody needs to accept it. At that stage, it becomes widely accepted. That's what I'm saying. That is going to chow Mastercard, Visa, and every payment system because it is going to get more and more sophisticated by the day. So yeah, Bitcoin is progressively moving like in a very, very fast pace as a medium of exchange because I have already adopted it and I'm not in El Salvador. So imagine if I'm in El Salvador, there's no fiat in my entire life. With growing merchant acceptance and the development of the protocol, everybody is participating because nobody is in charge. So that's how it's growing every day. Bitcoin transactions are becoming more efficient and commonplace in daily commerce. Everybody, like if I'm going to say I'm selling anything online now, all I just need to do is plug my BTC Pay server and every other payment system out there, and then I'll be accepting Bitcoin for everything that I'm selling online. That's what it is in the commerce section. Example, El Salvador is actually they made it a legal tender in their country, and then due to the loan they borrowed from the IMS, there was too many news shaking, but they are still buying currently, with what I know. Each day, more and more ordinary citizens and businesses are using Bitcoin as a medium of exchange because I am using it. I'm going to use it. I'll keep using it. So yeah, and I know other people are using it. Big companies and big supermarkets, small shops, big shop. Everybody that knows the value is accepting it. At that final stage, the currency achieves the status of unit of account because now everything is going to be repriced. Why are things expensive? It is going to be repriced in SATs and in BTC, serving as a common measure of pricing goods and services here. So yeah, it becomes a standard metric which a measured metric against which all other values are measured. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that everything is definitely going to be repriced, like every damn thing. So now, when we are the gold standard and when we are in the Bitcoin standard, formally we like gold has failed us because now because if it was properly scalable, they would not have really thought about paper money, which is the one in the middle. So now the future, you must understand that now we are still very, very early and Bitcoin is the future. We are going to be going into the Bitcoin standard because even the world cannot be going in debt. The United States is in extreme debt with this paper money in the middle. So yeah, the journey towards becoming a unit of account, like it's going to be a long process. We all know that. We are saying it because now we know that very, very few Bitcoiners are out there. If you're going to be accepting Bitcoin only, you know that okay, you're going to be working with very, very limited people currently, but it is going to be worth it in the nearest future. So the world measures goods and services in fiat currencies. Yes, so it is not yet a unit of account because we've not gotten to the stage where all goods and services are repriced. The banana, the fruit, and everything would definitely be repriced in Bitcoin unit of account. Bitcoin needs broader adoption. Everybody got to participate. These are the reasons why we are very, very bullish on Bitcoin education. Very, very bullish because the world needs to know that this is a money that empowers everybody. It is not going to be easy, but we'll get there into various like. So now the foundation is laid as businesses and individuals begin to consider. That's all. That's the main summary out there. Everybody is now accepting it as a form of payment. The evolution of this cycle is going to be of sound money, where everybody, global financial system, now everything is being used as a store value, medium of exchange, and reshaping the entire global monetary system. So now you remember when we were using the cowries, the old primitive days where they call themselves the element when they were using the cowries and precious metals as a form of payment. There's also gold, there's silver, there's even bronze, I think, back then. Whichever thing, money is meant to be like it's meant to be something that you can't just find anyhow on the street or on the road because it needs to hold its value. That is why you would want to exchange value for value. Remember the barter days also, where you give something for something. So that it became gold backed during the gold standards. They now had to exchange back fiat currencies for the gold. That's where the inflation started kicking in massively. Now the government now started issuing paper money properly, because formerly, before they moved to the paper money, there's what they call the promissory notes. They give you the promissory notes, and your gold will be stored in their gold back system. So we moved to an early age of internet banking, and then now the proof of work system, which is the Bitcoin. So just take note of this thing. It's going to take time before we get to a proper Bitcoin standard, but we'll definitely get there, which is purely digital.
Sorry, before you go forward, there's a question from Dennis. He asked, how
Um,
does users, for example, contribute to Bitcoin?
Yeah, because the fact that you're using Bitcoin network alone, the fact that you're using it as a medium of exchange, as a store of value, and you're also accepting it as you're also earning it. Let's say you can decide to say, okay, oh, your service that you want to be providing online, you're accepting SAT for it. You can put a price to it. What's your time and your energy? You just put a price, and whoever wants your service will hire you. You're a user like that. You're spending it, you're buying it, you're hodling it, you're sending it to your family and friends. You're a user. So yeah, that's how you contribute, because you're using now the network is not just dormant. People are interacting with it on a day-to-day basis, which is the idea. You know, that's why we are pushing for mass adoption and circular economy, because we want more users. That's what makes the network stronger. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay. Like, let me just add, the more people come into the network, the more efficient the network is.
Mhm.
Unlike the fiat network, when more people are coming, the more control they are over the people. So Bitcoin allows for everyone to come in, contribute, grow, skill through. You're just free to come in and contribute, as Blaise has said. Please, before continue, I know if Blaise wants to continue, there's going to be like no time to ask questions. Anyone can ask questions now, as Blaise is as we are waiting a little bit. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute your mic, ask the question on the chat box, ask the question before Blaise continues. Yeah, Dennis, go ahead.
Um, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, like that Bitcoin is not yet like on full usage by the public. It's not yet on full usage by the public. Hope you can get me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like now when Bitcoin continue to spread, like ordinary people, like people in the marketplace, can they relate clearly with Bitcoin? You like the illiterate also. So that's the question I'm asking. Is it
Yes.
going to be is it
Yes,
going to be easy
Bitcoin is
for them?
for everybody. Yes, Bitcoin is for everybody. That is why you have to be patient when you start teaching people about Bitcoin. You have to be very, very patient. You have to show them how to do it. There are people that just show them how to do it, educate them. That's why we are very, very bullish on education, because
Yeah.
you have to be, as an educator, you have to be very, very patient and show these people how to do it by themselves, because you don't want them to now, whenever they want to accept transactions for their business and their goods and services, now they're not calling you on the phone. No, you got to show them how to do it. That is why the network is getting more like easier. We are creating more softwares to actually make it very, very easy for even the market women to actually accept it as money. That's what we talk about, a proper adoption, because we want everybody, like I said, even the forest men, the laymen, let them know how to actually use the network. Their Bitcoin adoption process, where you Machankura here in South Africa, where you use code. So those are the people the guy that created that code now. He said that he made it specifically for the market women that are not using internet-backed phones, like the smartphone. So they will just type a code, and then they use the code. You press number, send, receive BTC, and that's how you send and receive BTC on a Nokia phone,
Yeah.
or
Oh,
or any phone that doesn't have Wi-Fi. You
okay,
use those USSD code. Yeah, star 556. The code. Yeah, there's one code. I'll get the code and I'll post it on the chat box when I get there. Okay, so yeah, let's continue. Yeah, as okay. So does anybody have any other question, please? If I move on.
Yes, yeah, yes, like two questions.
Okay.
Yeah, like two
Okay.
questions. Okay,
Okay.
one from Busayo. How
Yeah.
does proof of work provide security in the Bitcoin network?
Okay. So, like we said earlier, there are miners, there are node runners. So now a miner needs to have a mining machine that has computational power for he or she to any because anybody can actually do this thing. For you need to have like a hardware miner, and then you're using that as with a proper computer to run the node to start mining on the network. So now, for you to be able to do that, you need cheap electricity because it uses a lot of electricity. So now you need cheap electricity to do that. So that's how we get to keep it properly secured and decentralized. Now we talk about small miners. That's why we say like if you're going to be mining, you're not supposed to make it like a passive income. You are actually supporting the network to continue to remain decentralized and secured. So like it's so you cannot be vulnerable to any attack. So the more